Hi, class. It was wonderful spending time together today, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next week. I wanted to take a few moments to review some of the things that we discussed today so that you can carry in your mind a sense of the big picture aspects of some of the things that we're exploring together. So, we have begun to work through a series of different mindfulness practices. As discussed today, they may look different, they may have different instructions associated with them, but they all carry with it a commonality, which is that we're cultivating this quality of awareness. So we began with the focused attention practice, putting our attention on the breath. When we notice our mind wandering, bringing our attention back to the breath. We move to a body scan, where the object of our attention moves through the body. If our mind wanders, we bring our attention back, and we're also noticing the pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral aspect of our experience. Now we're expanding the field of awareness, a practice that we'll learn as open monitoring, where we are no longer tethered to and continually returning to an object like the breath or the body, but we're interested in expanding the field of awareness to notice whatever it is that comes along, sights, sounds, aromas, etc. We do the focused attention practice so that we learn to steady ourselves and notice when we wander, so that when we expand the field of awareness to, say, take a walk around the lake or listen to somebody in a conversation, and we begin to get pulled away, our snow globe begins to become active, we realize it, and we can bring ourselves back and then expand and be aware again of what's taking place. So this week we will be zeroing in on listening, which really in some ways is paying attention to sound, and also paying attention to what's arising within us while we are listening to what's being said and the content of what's being said, which can take hold in the body, as well as sounds around us. If you're walking around the lake, can be very pleasant, like water flowing, or it could be agitating, like a grass blower. And we notice the pleasant and the unpleasant. And so this is one thing I wanted to share with you, which is that we're learning all these different practices and exercises, and they're all ways of helping us cultivate and develop greater mindful awareness and capacity to be present and stay present. But when all is said and done, they're very, very, very similar. We watched the Dan Harris video, and this was done today in particular because he really was recapping on the focused attention practice. He zeroed in on finding a comfortable place to sit, bringing your attention to your breath, and when you notice your mind wandering, bringing your attention back. And I think he did so in a way that was fun and entertaining and insightful, and so I hope you found that to be helpful. And it also really is our jumping off point from the focused attention practice that he spent much of his attention on to where we're now going with our practice. We also talked a little bit about the paper topic. Some of you shared what you're thinking about writing on, and my response was intended to help you realize that probably anything that you come up with that's of interest to you, whether it's mindfulness and studying for the bar, or mindfulness for the busy lawyer, or mindfulness and transactional law, there's a way that we will be able to together figure out a manageable and useful and relevant to you and your interests paper topic that you can write on. And as Sabrina noted, sometimes there can be a dearth of resources out there as it relates to this specific topic, or there could be a great many, and I'll help zero you in on those resources and those citations. Finally, I want to share with you a little bit about the assignment, because this week it's mindful listening. There'll be readings on mindful listening and listening more effectively, and there'll be some written assignments that you'll do based on that, and you'll get the prompts on the class website. But you'll also be practicing mindful listening while you're out and about. This is like sitting and focusing our attention on the breath, or a body scan, or mindful walk around the lake, mindful listening while in conversation. Specifically, the first page of the take-home mindfulness handout that you have has room for you to write your experiences doing mindful listening, and in particular, writing down your experiences not interrupting. Just a brief reminder, the instruction is to not interrupt. You're in a conversation with somebody, as you all very astutely pointed out in class, we'll feel a tug, we'll feel an impulse to interrupt, and therein lies the moment to be more mindfully aware. If we're not mindfully aware, we're likely to just interrupt. If we are mindfully aware, we say, oh, there's sensations in the body, heart rate going up, tension maybe, thoughts going through the mind, feelings, frustration, anger, whatever that may be. And in the spirit of last week's reading on between stimulus and response, there is this space. Well, somebody's talking. That's probably the stimulus. there's this response, and we have this space, and we're interested in being more skillful within that space. Therein lies our growth and freedom, and the skillful way that we're attending to that space is by being more mindfully aware, not of what's being said necessarily, but of how we are experiencing what's being said and whatever else may be going on. So that's the mindfulness practice, and that's what you'll be spending most of your time writing about. Also related is what we discussed with taking your cell phone and putting it in the trunk or in the back seat or off to the side or wherever you choose to put it, with the intention, some of the time while you're driving, to not answer the phone. It doesn't have to be every time, and you can answer the phone if you want. The key is not whether you answer the phone or not, just like it's not whether you interrupt or not. The key is, can you be more aware of the impulses and the tugs and whatever else may be arising when the phone rings, or just when you're driving and you feel this impulse to reach for the phone. That's the mindfulness practice. So it's again another reminder that whether you're talking with somebody or driving by yourself in the car with your phone next to you, the practice of cultivating and developing greater mindful awareness runs through all of these moments, as indeed all of the moments of our life. I hope that you find this little overview to be helpful. I look forward to seeing you on Friday and to seeing many of you during the week when you sign up for the small group discussions. Take care.